Good morning. My name is Olivia Stark, and I'm an immigration consultant. And in this live today, I would like to remind everyone that we are doing webinar. This webinar is coming up very soon on December 12th. And I'm just waiting for my associate to join us so that he can actually read your questions regarding the webinar and help me navigate this live. Let's see if he's joining. Okay. So let me tell you a little bit about the webinar. I don't know, he's not. Let's try and invite him again. He's unable to join. Okay, so let me try one more time. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the webinar while he's trying to join. Let's talk a little bit about the webinar. Why did we organize this webinar? In DM, I get very often I get questions. I would like to come to Canada. How can I? And there are two ways for me to answer this question. Number one is for you to book a consultation where I can look at your specific at the details of your specific case and how I can basically then match the details of your case with every possible program that exists, which is what I do. This is my job. But another way, I thought that maybe it would help if I actually kind of put all the programs together. Of course, in 1 hour, it's impossible to do in every single detail, but I am a fast talker. So trust me, I can put a lot of information in 1 hour. And so basically I was thinking of putting together a webinar for people who are thinking about immigration, but just wondering, so where do I start? What do I need to do for that? How do I prepare for that? And in this webinar, I've put together all viable programs for immigration to Canada. And what it will allow you to do is to get an overview of the immigration system and position yourself inside the system and to be able to see whether you are ready, whether you meet the requirements, whether and what steps to take to immigrate. Even if you are not ready, so you are attending webinar and you see that you are not ready, you will be able to kind of already map your strategy where you can start preparing for immigration. I know there's a lot of advice out there, a lot of information in bits and pieces on my Instagram, on other people's Instagrams, but the truth is that they are only helpful partially. It's because if you don't see that strategy, if you don't know where you are starting and where you are going, what your end goal is, then it's very hard for you to actually piece this. Does it apply to me? Of course, nothing beats the personalized consultation and working with a professional, immigration professional, whether myself, Olivia Stark, immigration consulting, or any other immigration professional, licensed immigration professional. However, I will offer, after this webinar, for attendees of this webinar, I will offer considerable discounts on consultations with me. And of course, the consultations will go into, the fee for consultation will be deducted from overall legal fees if you retain our services. So please remember, the licensed professionals. So let me try and invite Joel again so that I can answer questions. So he will be reading the questions. I will be answering your questions regarding the webinar. Let me try one more time. Let's see if it works this time. All right, yes, he's here. So hi, Joel.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you and we
Perfect.
can see
Sorry,
you.
the
So
room invite wasn't
basically,
working.
no worries, no worries. So basically what we are going to cover in this webinar, of course, the most popular express entry. So we are going to take a look at the 3 classes under which you can, when you create a profile for express entry. So we are going to talk about what express entry is, what 3 classes of economic immigration are covered in express entry. We are going to talk about general criteria. Of course, you will be able to assess your own situation according to these criteria. Do you meet these criteria already or not? Then we are going to take a look at, and next, the most popular one, study visa or study permit. What will happen if you come to study? What will be the benefits? And also we are going to talk a little bit about the strategy, how you can choose this. We are going to talk about notorious work permits. We are going to talk about the work permit that everybody is asking about. Can I come to Canada and work? We are going to talk about conditions for that, and whether it's possible, how it's possible, and what you can do. We are going to talk about visitor's visa, which for Canada is very difficult to get. So Canada is one of the countries where it's not that easy to get a visitor's visa. And there are reasons for that we are going to discuss. And of course, I will talk about how to mitigate this difficulty, how you can prepare to get the visitor's visa if that's your goal. Next, I'm going to talk about the provincial nominee programs. Again, within 1 hour of everything, it's impossible to talk about every single program in detail and about all the streams, about all the requirements, but you will get a general idea how provincial nominee programs work. And also, and this is the most important one, you will be actually able to see how you can have a plan B, plan A. So for some people, provincial nominee will be plan A. For some people, just like, for example, in situation today, it can be plan B. So you can plan, you need to start planning your immigration journey from the very start. It's a strategy. It's not just I'm gonna apply and sit there and wait for some kind of miracle to happen. It's a strategy. So again, immigration professionals know all these programs and they can advise you on the best strategy for you personally. But this webinar will give you a very good overview and an idea on how to navigate the system and where you fit into the system. So basically, it's a provincial nominee I'm going to give an overview, and I'm going to talk about how you can strategize immediately from the start, be it you are coming as a visitor, be it you are coming, well, for a visitor, you need to be invited. That's the best part. But whether you are coming to study, it's not just best college or university, it's what's going to give the best result for me with my major, with what I'm going to study, and so on, and how I'm going to be getting that permanent residency. So it's a plan. It's a strategy. It's not just random. So that's that. We are also going to talk about work permits already in Canada, who's eligible for what work permit. And of course, we are going to talk about sponsorship. Again, I get so many questions about sponsorship. And I think there's a lot of misunderstanding as to what sponsorship programs are. And I'm going to look at 2 available and the only possible sponsorship programs. One is the sponsoring your parents or grandparents when you are already Canadian citizen or permanent resident, and of course sponsoring your spouse or common law partner. Again, when you are already, who is it for? Who can do this? And again, how you can prepare for this, right? Because romantic love is great, getting married is great, getting your spouse sponsored is a whole different story, right? So again, it's a strategy. That's basically it. So now I will take several questions, Joel, if you would be so kind. And Joel also will show you how to sign up for the webinar. Reminder, webinar is paid. It's $49. But
Yeah.
this price will go towards your personal consultation with me, one-on-one on Zoom. I do this. This is my job, right? So I'm not a vlogger. I'm not a blogger. You see on my website, not too much information about beautiful Canada. Canada is beautiful, cold, but beautiful. But I am an immigration professional. I am a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. And this is my job, to help people immigrate, to do their paperwork and draft their strategy and communicate with IRCC on their behalf, basically represent you with IRCC. So again, Joel will read a couple of questions regarding the webinar. The fee for the webinar goes towards your consultation. Huge discounts for consultation. And trust me, I do a very good job. So, Joel.
Perfect. So I just want to let people know that on their bottom, you'll see something called comment. Right beside there's going to be an arrow, and right beside there's going to be a questions button. So that way, if you type your question there, it stays there and we can see it back to back. If you type it in the comments, it'll go up and down. So if you just type it in those questions section, it's good for us. But I do have some in chat that I'm going to for sure take up. So one is what is the minimum score for CELPIP for Express Entry Pool?
This is
I'm just asking what the chat's
this is
asking.
a great question. This is a great question. This is a great question. Right off the top of my head, CL what? PNP? Honestly, CLB, the minimum score for?
So it says, what is the minimum score for CELPIP Express Entry Pool? I'm just reading exactly
Sorry,
what
guys. Let's skip that one because.
Okay, for sure, no worries. There's another question is basically which asks how long in general is a PR process? Like obviously it's different from case to case.
Guys, no miracles. Okay, that's a great question. PR process is not Harry Potter style, magic where you apply and next day you get the answers. Absolutely not. This is a waiting game. You have to be patient. So first you go into the pool, no matter what, depending on the route you are choosing, it's going to take somewhere around a year, if not more. So be prepared. It depends on what route you are taking. So if you're applying directly, so think about this. You are waiting to get selected. Then you are applying. So you're waiting to be selected. It could be a month. It could be a 2. It could be a 3, whatever that might be. Then you are applying. So you have certain number of days to apply, to submit your application. Once you've submitted your application, there's a process of review. That process takes time. Sometimes it's 2 months, and sometimes it's 6 months, and sometimes it's longer. So to tell you the truth, guys, I cannot tell you I cannot tell you that it's gonna happen in 2 months. So all of those, like movie trailers, they show you the succinct version of the best parts of the movie, right? So movie trailer, you're watching like, wow, this is amazing. And then you are sitting in the movie for 2 hours and you're like, well, where are those wow moments? And they're not necessarily there all together. So that's exactly what you hear when you hear people's immigration stories. First I applied, then I got my visa, then I did this. What they don't tell you is the waiting time, because they basically shrink the whole story into I applied and I received, right? That's it. But in between, there is a lot of waiting time, right? You are waiting when you are in the pool. You are waiting when you are already submitted your application. Your immigration professional is waiting. We are all waiting, right? If you go through provincial nominee programs directly, it's going to be even longer. This time is even longer. It's over a year. So be prepared for that, right? So immigration is a waiting game. Good things come to those who wait.
Yeah. Perfect. So I think a little bit clarification came in the chat for the previous question. CELPIP, as in like the IELTS, like it's like similar to IELTS, but it's a different test.
Oh,
So,
CELPIP.
yeah,
Oh,
sorry,
I
I was just
see.
reading literally
CELPIP.
IELTS.
No, I get it, guys. Okay. For CELPIP, guys, there's on the government, on the website, there is this conversion table of IELTS and CELPIP into CLB. That's how I would do it. That's what you would do it. Off the top of my head, I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
It's also the same as, yeah, I'm assuming it's also the same as IELTS, as in the requirements change based on the program. Like it's not the same
Yes,
through it, right?
requirements change based on the program, but the best way, guys, the best way to do this, just Google conversion table. That's how I do it, because I don't have any magical tools, honestly, like some kind of magical calculator. Go on the website, just Google conversion table of IELTS and CELPIP into CLB, and you will be able to literally plug in your numbers, what you got for CELPIP, and then you will see what your CLB is.
Yeah, exactly. Also, just like I'm assuming Olivia can attest to this better as a professor herself, who has taught IELTS before. Whether it's IELTS, whether it's CLP, like a lot of people focus on getting good marks and all of that, which is sure it's important and it's not easy. It's just at the end of the day, your exam is going to be the same. Changing the process is not going to change. It's not like if you have a certain level of score IELTS and you write another exam, suddenly your English proficiency is gonna shoot up.
No,
right?
it's about formats, right? So guys, my favorite is IELTS for many reasons. I taught it, I took it 3 times. I know the process, but CELPIP is a great exam. I heard a lot of people take it and actually say it's better than IELTS. Can I attest to it? Absolutely not. Is it easier? Absolutely not. It's an exam. And if you are preparing, make sure that you know the format of the exam, right? It's all about knowing the format, timing, and so on. If switching from, Joel is right, switching from one exam to another, there's no such thing as easy language exam. It's a language exam, right? It's an exam, period, right? And don't get disheartened. I know it's expensive to take exams. They are like $300 a pop, but don't get disheartened if you don't get your perfect score right away. Just keep study a little bit, do something, practice a little bit more, and then take it again. Don't let it stop you. It's just one stepping stone towards your goal. Okay, next question.
100%. And okay, perfect. So we have a similar question. So I'm just going to answer it based on your previous answer. Someone asked how long once your application is submitted, when you're going to get your biometrics. Again, guys, there's no formula. It's not like you apply this 2 months, you apply that. It's not like university. Everything is based on process. Someone could take 1 month, some would take 4 months. It depends on how complicated your files is, right? We have another question that says, what is the deadline for the September 22 intake? September 2022.
That depends. So you need to look at your specific colleges and universities, wherever you're applying, and they tell you deadline, right? You will see the deadline for every specific college. Some colleges might have this deadline a little bit further down the road. Some colleges may be may have it a little bit, more strict and tighter, right?
Yeah, perfect. This is a question. If we apply for a PNP and get a PR, can we work in other provinces after arriving in Canada?
Okay, I'm going to ask to answer in 2 ways. So number 1, the mobility rights in Canada, once you're a PR, they do guarantee you that you can move across Canada to your heart's desire. But provincial nominee programs do stipulate that you are being nominated by the program because you are expressing an intent to live in the province. So there has been a case where a person was stripped of their PR because province, they moved out of their province that nominated them. And there has been a precedent. And once there's a precedent, guys, so because Canadian legal system is based on precedent, what does it mean? If this happens once, if certain case has been decided once in one way, all the future cases will be decided in exactly the same way. So on the one hand, you have mobility. Once you have permanent residence, a resident, on the one hand, you can move all over Canada. Bob's your uncle. But the province that nominated you, why did they nominate you? So that you can stay, work, pay taxes, and contribute to the economy of the province. Having said that, can you move out? Well, you will have to prove really well that you could not establish yourself economically in that province. How to do that? That's a whole different story. So my advice would be stay in that province for some time before you decide we are moving out. Don't do that, because it can have really dire consequences for you, right?
Yep.
It's
Perfect.
happened before. And once it happens once, that's it. It's possible that it's going to be happening more and more often. Okay. Can we just go on to webinar questions?
Yeah, for sure. So there's another question that is basically asked, like, are we going to cover stuff information with, sorry, I'm just going to read the acronyms and bridging. So it's BWOPS, so bridging open work permits. And then same with PGWP.
PGWP. Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, I was wondering, yesterday I put in PGWP because this one is important, right?
Yeah.
Why is it important? Because this is the one that basically allows you to work in Canada after you finish your studies. And that's probably one of the most important ones, because that's how you are getting your work experience. Yes, I am going to cover this one. Now, about the bridging open work permit. I was sitting yesterday there and I was wondering, do we not? It's not actually the way to come to Canada. Does it fit into our webinar? But I understand that people are interested in this one. Yes, I will include that. So it's already sitting there, just waiting for my kind of like, okay, you go in. Yes, so if you're interested, I am including this into the webinar, even though technically it's not a way to come to Canada per se. You cannot come to Canada on a bridging work permit, but I will include it.
Yeah. Perfect. Awesome. We have one more question. Is basically, it was something along the deadlines of, sorry, give me 1 second, I lost it. It was basically something along the lines of, when we talk about student visa in the webinar, are we going to cover like master's programs as well? Like, can we, like, is it just
okay? So basically,
overview?
guys, are you interested in how to apply, or let's kind of differentiate? And this is what I would like to make clear from the very start. Study permit has 2 stages, okay?
Yeah.
Technically. So the academic phase, where you apply to the college or university and you receive a letter of acceptance. So that I don't want to cover in our webinar, because we are talking about the immigration part of this. So then you take that letter of acceptance and then you apply for a study permit. Now, this is immigration part. Just letter of acceptance, just because college or university accepted you, does not mean that you will get a study permit. As you probably heard all over social media, YouTube videos, Instagram, and whatever else you are following, you've heard that study permits get a lot of refusals, right? So what does it mean? The college has accepted a student. The student has the letter of acceptance and the start date. And then when they apply for a study permit, that's when they get refusal, okay? So that letter of acceptance is just as foundation. So if you're asking me, will I be talking about how to apply to college or how to apply to university for master's program? No, I'm not going to talk about that. But I am going to talk about this whole process of applying for study permit. That's for sure. The immigration part of it. Okay. Maybe in the future, if you want to, we can look into the application process to colleges and universities, but that's pretty much straightforward, right? So,
Yep, exactly. So perfect. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna quickly like show everyone how to sign up for the webinar.
yes, please.
So
Yes,
yeah,
please.
this
Thank you so much.
yeah, so there's a lot of questions in the chat like that are very specific, so we're not going to answer that because
No.
again, we don't give consultation advice on like Instagram Live. But to all of those people who've asked very specific question like, can I apply for this? Can I apply for that? This and that. Is it too late for me because I've done this? DM us and book a consultation with us so we can help you out, right? We're not going to ignore you. We're going to address that, but we're just saying it's not going to happen here. So please book a consultation with us in our link in bio and message us how if you're confused on how to do that. Okay, so I'm going to show everyone how to apply on my computer screen for the webinar or how to sign up. Meanwhile, if you have any last minute questions about the webinar, you have one chance to either put it in the comments here or right in the corner here, you're going to have the questions button. So if you can just put it down there. Okay, perfect. So give me 1 second. I'm going to pull that up.
And the reason why I cannot do it because I don't know how to. Very simple. How
Yeah,
to
no,
show,
it's
how
okay.
to
Well, that's
show.
completely fine. You don't have to. All I'm literally doing is gonna like put it on my computer screen and flip my camera because that's the easiest way to do it. Give me 1 second. Flip here and new incognito window. And I'm just gonna let people also know that like sign up processes with Graphy is very simple. You just need a Google account, like a Gmail account, which I'm sure most of you have when you use YouTube or when you use any of these apps. So give me 1 second. Sorry, I'm just pulling that up, just making sure we're not showing any links that are
Irrelevant.
yeah, exactly, irrelevant links or links that are private because I want to show them the front end of things, right?
Right.
So perfect. So we have a link in our bio that takes you to Olivia's Graphy profile. So once you click that link, you will see something like this. Olivia, can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see a
Perfect.
screen.
So you'll see something like this. Please apologize for the camera qualities because my camera is just blurry. My camera doesn't have this coffee yet. So this is basically, you will see the brief about Olivia and what she does, which is also on our website. You will have something called Join Your Community. Now, I just want to make something very clear. You can join this community for free just by clicking here and it'll take you to sign up with Google or Facebook. But this is different from YouTube. So clicking that gets you access to Olivia's community and the emails that we send out, but it does not get you access to the webinar or any sessions that we do on Graphy. It's not like YouTube where you subscribe and you get the session. So you can join the community, which really is like good for email communication, but you really can't attend the webinar. So you can join the community as step one, but you'll scroll down below and you'll see 2 dates for the webinar. You'll see streaming at 10 a.m. on 12th December, Pathways to Canada. This is 10 a.m. Eastern time, Toronto time, or New York time. And then another one, which is the same webinar. Again, it's the same webinar on 2 different dates. We just kept 2 dates for people's convenience. Streaming at 10 a.m. on 19th December 2021. Again, it's this Toronto time. And once you click on any of these, let's say I go for the first one and I say register, it'll take me to this place where it'll give you the brief about the webinar and you can read more and learn everything we went over today and like countless Instagram posts, and you click register for $49. And again, I'll take you to the same sign up page. Once you sign up, I recommend signing up with Google. Once you sign up, it'll take you to a payment page. No matter which country you live in, it will have a credit card processing way to do it. Or if it's in your country, they have PayPal or Paytm or something like that. You can go through there and then you can just sign up. And in your email, you will have the dates, the links, how to attend, everything. So it's just one click if you go to our link in bio. Also, I understand if it looks complicated, you can also open Instagram on your laptop. So just to show people that this is basically my Instagram. Sorry, give me 1 second. This is basically my Instagram here. So on my computer, and here I'm attending Olivia's live webinar, and I can just click here, go to Olivia's profile, and from there I can actually go to Olivia's bio here, and then click that, and then it'll take me to all the places that I need to be, and then I can click on the webinar. So if you guys are not comfortable doing it on your phone, Instagram can be open on your computer as well.
Okay.
That's how you sign up?
Yeah, perfect. So I am really hoping that many of you will sign up.
Yeah.
And the reason is very simple, because the question, how can I come to Canada, cannot be answered literally in one post on Instagram or in my DM. How can you come to Canada? There are so many ways.
Yeah.
So it's really your investment in yourself. In knowledge is power, guys.
Yeah.
Knowledge is literally power and freedom.
Yeah.
Sign up, get the information, and then if you will be able to assess yourself. You don't need anyone to tell you, are you ready, are you not? You will get the information. You will say, that sounds like me, maybe not. And then of course, if you need more guidance, if you need like personalized strategy, I will offer discounts for personal consultations with me. I know, so guys, I do hope to see you there, and I look forward to connecting with you during the webinar and otherwise during the consultations, where I can help each of you specifically with your situation. And again, always remember that if you retain our services, the consultation fee is always deducted from the overall fees for services, which makes it absolutely free.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
So
yeah.
While the consultations are not free per se, they
Yeah.
do become free for you personally. And of course, I offer my clients all other kinds of perks. Okay. So guys, have a wonderful Sunday, whatever is left of it, if that's Sunday for you. Jwala, thank you so much for joining and helping me with this. And I will see you during the webinar. Okay.
Perfect. Yes. Sign up,
Bye-bye.
link in the bio, and take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.